Hello, Lions fans, and welcome back to Season 3, Episode 56 of Just Lying Around, a Detroit Lions podcast, presented by the World of Football. I'm your host, Kyle Sutherland, and I'm joined by my co-host and brother-in-law, Adam Snow. Adam, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing utterly fantastic. Other than some of the great merch that I was planning for us to roll out, with the various division teams sucking, getting taken down by the NFL. Thanks, NFL. I guess we'll have to rework them. But at least I got one out the gate. So, suck it, Bears fans.
All right. On today's show, we're going to go over the free agent signings for the Lions that happened a while ago. A couple big names the Lions have signed and ones that have went elsewhere. We're also going to talk about the current positional needs for the Lions. And then finally, the draft day is literally a week away, so we'll talk about that as well. But first, I'd like to talk about some sweet merch that Adam has created with tpublic.com. I'm talking about just lying around hats, shirts, sweatshirts, cups, stickers, wall arts, and even pillows. All you have to do is go to tpublic.com/user/the World of Football shop with dashes in between. And just go there, look it up. They got a lot of sweet stuff there for people to buy. So just help us out, support the channel by buying stuff there. A link will be in the description below, and we'll have one pop up on the screen here for you guys to check out. So we appreciate it in advance. So let's jump into it, Adam, here. Free agents signed that have signed with the Lions and a few names that have left. I'm going to go over like the big names here. There's a bunch of additional people that the Lions have signed and a couple people that have gone elsewhere. So for the Lions, well, we'll jump into it. As you've known by now, cornerback Carlton Davis has left for the Patriots. He signed a 3-year deal with them for $54 million. But we have signed DJ Reed out of the Jets last year for a 3-year deal for $48 million. So a lot of people out there saying that is a even trade. Less money for someone who's dependable, who knows how to play man coverage, wants to hit people, tackle them. So I think this is a good signing. What do you think about that, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, of the whole class, whatever you want to call it, that they've signed so far this season, off season, he's probably my favorite. I like what he did. He's very, very productive. You look at a lot of those numbers. It's a name that I don't know if a lot of people would know at the tip of their tongue, but clearly his resume speaks for itself. He did a lot of good stuff there in New York, and I think he's going to be a great fit with what the Lions defense is going to want to do now with Calvin Shepard at the helm.
Yeah, we'll see. I think he's going to start out as the number one cornerback until our rookie we signed last year takes over, and he'll hopefully probably take over the number 2 position cornerback. But we'll have to wait and see there. Moving on here, another name here, nose tackle Roy Lopez, coming out of the Arizona Cardinals, signing a 1-year contract, $3.5 million worth, kind of helping out DJ Reed there. DJ Reader, excuse me, helping that position out. We also have linebacker Grant Stewart out of the Indianapolis Colts, signing a 1-year, $1.7 million fully guaranteed contract. Sounds like he's going to be a special teamer, probably backup linebacker, like 4 or 5, depending on how Rodriguez is doing in his recovery. So that's a good depth piece for us to sign. Then we have, I don't know, this is one that's kind of interesting here. Lions have signed quarterback Kyle Allen to a 1-year, $1.27 million deal. Um, so a lot of people are kind of wondering what's going on with the Hendon Hooker. Is he going to be the number two, or is he going to slip back? Um, I don't know. I think this is going to be more like a rookie mini camp or um, camp deal. Kind of push Hendon Hooker to step up his game, hopefully, because I'd hate to see Hendon Hooker go somewhere else. But yeah, what do you think about that, Adam?
A little bit of surprise, but I mean, you need three quarterbacks usually. I think I'm okay with that. I think Teddy Bridgewater, came in at the end of the year, did serviceable when he had to step in. To me, that clearly means that Hendon Hooker wasn't ready. If you're bringing Teddy Bridgewater back off the street, and Bridgewater got to play, so I think it's just another veteran presence to have in that quarterback room, and it might say a lot of where Hooker is in his development. We'll have to wait and see. Going to be very anxious to see what the new offensive coordinator does with some of these pieces and how he's running things. So we're just in wait and see mode right now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting once the camps start up how they're gonna um, utilize these quarterbacks here.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a couple defensive backs signed as well. Cornerback Rock Yunsin from the 49ers. He is signing with the our Lions. And nickelback Avante Maddox from Philadelphia Eagles. He's signing with the Lions as well. So overall, I think the cornerback room has kind of stepped up its game from last year. A lot of these guys were starters on their respected teams last year, so um, this is overall great depth for the Lions and the defensive back room.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
yeah, so let's talk about some players that were on the Lions that signed elsewhere. A big name here, guard Kevin Zeitler. He is gone. He signed with the Titans for 1 year for $9 million. So that's a big blow for the Lions. Currently, they have not signed anyone else for the guard position. Um, so we'll have to wait and see what their plans are with that. We already talked about it. Cornerback Carlton Davis is left for the Patriots. Also, another cornerback, Kendall Vildor, he is left for the Buccaneers on a 1 year, $1.3 million deal. Going over there. So I think with what the Lions have signed, I think we shouldn't sweat it too much. Another name here, another safety, which we'll talk about later here. Defensive back Ife Melifanu, he signed with the Dolphins, 1 year, $3 million deal. So the safety room currently is pretty light. I think they have the two starters, Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph as the starters, and maybe one more backup currently for the Lions. So that's a thing that the Lions need to address. So
Yeah, we'll certainly see. If I remember correctly, towards the start of free agency, there was a lot of safeties that were going to be on the market, but
yeah,
right now, I don't know how many of them got signed. I haven't looked at that list in a while, to be honest with you. So my thought process would be, if they're going to sign a guy, hopefully they'll get him a little cheaper as this whole process goes along and after the draft. So maybe that's what they wait for, or maybe they're looking at the draft. Maybe they're going to look at acquiring a couple of guys that way. Also, let's you talk about Zeitler. I mean, clearly, if Brad Holmes was willing to lose Zeitler, who I loved, on that offensive line, he was a great piece there. The emergence of Christian Mahogany, I
yeah,
think his upside has been absolutely fantastic, and we've kind of liked what little we've seen of him so far. And I think maybe they're confident enough that he could step into that kind of role, or maybe there's an offensive lineman in the draft also that they're looking at that they could replace that position with. I mean, they've been really good about their offensive line depth, so I'm not terribly concerned about that. They've been really, really good about that. Losing Carlton Davis stinks, but I mean, Brad Holmes ain't going to pay that money, and I think we got with Reed a better corner for a cheaper price. So I mean, that's always a win. So and losing Vildor was somebody that every once in a while, he'd be fine, but then we'd hate him. So it is what it is. And Melfon, I hate seeing him go, but he was also not on the field a whole lot the last year or so. So losing him also not terribly broken up about.
Yeah, we'll talk about. Let's just jump into this here. Lions released a couple players, edge defender Zadarius Smith. Um, that I mean, he was due like 11 million this year if he were to stay with the Lions, but it ended up saving 10.97 million over 2 years. And linebacker Jalen Reeves Maben, he was let go as well, saves under 2 million. There are talks about they're out there right now with those veterans on the uh, market that they're not looking to sign right away because they don't want to attend mini camp because they already know what to do as far as positionals go. So after mini camp happens and the draft happens, like you're gonna see a few more signings out there for teams. So I don't know if that's the Lions are waiting on, especially people like Zadarius Smith. He doesn't want to go through mini camp. He doesn't want to do all that stuff, so he'll wait till after minicamp to maybe sign with a team. Hopefully, the Lions can pick him up on a cheaper deal, which I wouldn't be. I mean, I'd be happy for get him on a cheaper deal, kind of help out our um, edge position across from Hutchinson. So
I wonder if that's the plan because he was just spotted at a Pistons game in Detroit, so
yeah,
he's still hanging around. So I'm hoping they got something worked out to where okay, yep, we're gonna release you, we're gonna save that money, we're gonna renegotiate, get you a team friendly deal to keep you for another year. Maybe it's a 1 year deal. Reeves Maven don't know what they'll do with him, but I'm hoping the plan is to bring Zadarius Smith back later on, like you said. Yeah, skip mini camp, all that, come back in later on with a new deal and refresh. So we'll have to wait and see again. I think the mantra is always trust Brad Holmes.
yep. So a couple players re-signed. We'll talk about a few here. Running back Craig Reynolds is back on a 1 year deal. Um, Offensive tackle Dan Skipper is back on a 1 year deal. Tight end Shane Zylstra is re-signing, no terms yet. Guard Cody Wasika, he is re-signed, no terms yet as well. So that's another good backup piece for the guard position. Um, so some big names here that the Lions have re-signed. Wide receiver Tim Patrick, 1 year deal up to $4 million. Let's take some time talking about him real quick. I think that's a good signing from what he did last year for us. $4 million is pretty cheap for Tim Patrick. Um, yeah, what do you think about that signing? I
He's
know we talked about it a few episodes ago. Yeah, I would bring Tim Patrick back. But yeah, what do you think about that?
totally down with it. I was happy with what we saw out of him. I know he didn't get a whole lot of looks, but when he did, he had some crucial catches. I felt like he was pretty clutch when we needed him to be. He's just a guy that I feel like once he's gotten a few more reps and finds a nice spot in the offense, that he could be a heck of a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, depending on who else they draft, who they pair along with Amon Ra and Jamison Williams. So should be fascinating. This wide receiver room. Who knows if they draft a guy? We'll have to wait and see. But I think Tim Patrick's got a role in this offense. He's pretty big bodied, so I feel like you want a receiver with a little more, uh, muscle on him. And obviously he's not quite the tight end. He's not quite the skinny speed receiver, but he's a guy who can catch a pass in the middle of the field and take hits when needed.
Yeah. Another name here, defensive line Levi Onwuzurike. He's back on a 1 year, $4 million deal. A lot of talks out there saying like He's like due for $8 to $11 million. So him coming back on a really cheap deal is really good for the Lions, especially helping out that defensive line. Because right now they're pretty lean on the roster side of things. So having him back really helps. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So we got. I know this is a really good signing. I know you're excited for edge defender Marcus Davenport is back on a 1 year, $2.5 million deal. How are you feeling about that signing?
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Whatever the saying is. I don't know. They clearly like him enough to where when he's healthy, he's probably productive, and that's what they want out
Oh
of him.
yeah,
But the health hasn't been there. I'd be nervous to re-sign him. Clearly, Brad Holmes feels like they can eat up 2 million. What would you say? It was 2.5 mil.
yeah,
So I don't know. Brad Holmes clearly giving a guy another shot. I don't think he'd do it again if something happens this year. I mean, I know injuries happen, but the he was 3 games in, 4 games in, and he was out for the year. I don't know if the Lions could handle that again. I'm done dealing with injuries. I'm tired of it. I know they're going to
yeah.
happen, but boy, I'm very hesitant with Davenport.
So yeah, he ended up playing 3 games last year, but when he
Hmm.
played, he was very productive.
Yeah,
Kind of had a freak accident along with a couple other people on the team there as well.
kind of the
So
story of the Lions defense. It was freak accidents, 20 of them.
I think someone ran into his arm and broke his arm or something. So
Somebody might as well have rode out there in a golf cart and hit him. Jeez.
we'll have to see. Hopefully he stays healthy. We get about 9 to 10 games out of him um, to help out with the rotation at that edge defender.
Yeah.
Another big signing for the Lions, linebacker Derek Barnes is back on a 3 year, $24 million deal. I think this is a good deal for the Lions. Um, he ended up playing, what, 5 games last year before he got hurt?
Something like
Four or
that, yeah.
5 games. But yeah, um, from the 2023 season, at the end of the season, he was starting to click, and going into the 2024 season, seemed like everything was rolling for him. Lions had their third linebacker position filled with Derek Barnes. And again, unfortunately, he got hurt as well. Um, so yeah, look, good deal there for him coming back on a 3 year deal. Hopefully, he doesn't miss a step and continues to dominate like he did there. And then everyone's favorite cornerback, Cleo Dorsey. Again, another freak accident, broke his leg. He is re-signed as well, so we'll have to see how he does as a backup piece. Which right now, yeah, like I said earlier, cornerback depth for the Lions is looking really good for that. The Lions there.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, like there's a bunch of other names out there that the Lions have signed, free agency, re-signed. So if you're interested, just Google all that stuff. It's out there. So let's move on to positional needs. Um, we'll start on the offensive side. Not too many spots that I feel like the Lions need to address right now, but one particular position on the offensive line is guard. Um, So Kevin Zeitler left. Lions haven't really re-signed anyone. They have Mahogany right now. I feel like he's a good starter. He'll jump right in. But for me, I think they need to after the either during the draft get someone, or after the draft sign a veteran to kind of help out in that spot. Um, yeah, what do you think, Adam? Anyone else? Any position?
See, on the offensive side of the ball, is that's where
Yeah.
we're starting?
Yep.
I think you do need. I think the most pressing is yes, maybe another guard. I mean, offensive line depth never hurts you. It will only help you. We've seen that time and time again, and the Lions have been so good that they've had quite a few guys step up when a starter's gone out and have not missed a beat. So I'm very confident in our development of the offensive line, and that's always a spot in the draft that you need to restock. So I think that is step one, key, lock it in. The second I would say is probably wide receiver. Uh, who after Amon Ra, after Jameson, if Jameson stays around, could he be a trade piece in the draft? Who knows? Just wild speculation there. You find another wide receiver piece. Maybe a receiver who's got a slightly different style than what Jameson and Amon Ra bring to the table. Somebody along more of the lines of a Tim Patrick, something in
Yeah.
between maybe. You know, to replenish some wide receiver depth because it does feel like maybe our receivers outside of our two studs are old to say the least. So they probably could use that, and you know that's probably it on the offensive side. I don't think they need to look for another quarterback. They definitely don't need running back depth unless there is like a special player there, and you go get him. If there's like a special running back, and I'm not saying that the Jeffrey uh, is going to be there, right? That the kid from Boise, he's not going to be there at 20
Oh
whatever.
no.
But you take a talent if you see it, and I think Brad Holmes would do that. If there was like a special running back, I don't think he'd hesitate to take a guy like that, even though you got Gibbs and Montgomery. I'm not saying that would signal bye bye Montgomery. That would just mean now you got Sonic, Knuckles, and Shadow, or whatever the nicknames you want to add later on. Right now we're calling him the 5-0 though, Kyle, because Gibbs changed his number to 0, so now we got the 5-0 in the backfield. So very excited about that. Or you look for another tight end piece. As great as Laporte has been for us, we like Laporte quite a bit. Tight end depth also. The Lions seem to like to have 3 tight ends that can all kind of fill in. And Zylstra they re-signed. So did they lose Brock Wright? Did they still have Brock Wright? I don't know, but
Yeah, he's back.
okay. So I mean, it never hurts to maybe draft a guy, and you're going to lose one of those other 2 guys in camp. So who knows? I think the offensive side is a wild card, to be honest with you. The Lions could do practically anything. It's the defensive side of the ball we could probably argue a little bit longer about.
Yeah, so let's move on to the defensive side. A couple big needs I think they need to do is, of course, I wrote safety, but I want to jump to edge first. We need to get a solid piece, either round number 1 or round number 2, to line up across from Hutchinson. We can't have these old timers like Davenport, who we can't rely on, maybe gets hurt first couple games, then you're kind of screwed like last year. And no word on Zadarius Smith if he's coming back. But even if he does come back, he's getting old. He's not playing like 80 or 90% of the snaps like Hutchinson is. So I think they need to definitely draft someone who can plug in, who can play those that amount of reps like Hutchinson is, and I think that would help out the defensive line a lot right now.
Yep.
Other person I think they need to jump for, or that the Lions need to address, is safety. Um, Currently, we have Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph, all pros, Pro Bowl people, caliber, like arguably like the number one and 2 in the NFL right now. But besides that, they really don't have anyone else. Like I think they need to jump out. Maybe I wouldn't pick a safety in the first round. Maybe third or fourth round, pick a safety, kind of help out the bolster that position as well. But yeah, what do you think?
Hard to argue with those. I mean, again, the defensive line is just like the offensive line. Depth will never hurt you. I don't know if it'll specifically be edge. I do think somebody to pair with a Hutch is top priority. Maybe below, maybe another shutdown corner if there's a guy that falls in your lap, or if, you know, again, I think with the defensive side, there's quite a few holes at any level they could address something, and I think it'd be a win. You go to a linebacker, you go to a safety, a corner, or you go defensive line anywhere. I think it'll be a win for the Lions. Brad Holmes has shown that he can find the pieces. They just, got to see who they end up landing in their lap, or whoever the Packers want to take in the first round that we swoop in and take from them. So I I personally would like to see them go defense in the first round,
Yeah.
and probably see some sort of defensive line. It doesn't necessarily have to be edge. Just give me the best player available, whether that is some sort of edge player or some sort of uh, interior lineman that can cause some havoc to help Hutch out, because they need that. They need to open up space for the linebackers like Anzalone and them to fire in like rockets and make some plays, and just they need that, because a lot of our problems have been not getting to the quarterback. And last year it was very frustrating after we lost Hutch. It didn't feel like we got to the quarterback enough. Even Zadarius Smith, as great as I thought he played for Detroit, a lot of missed opportunities in the opponent's backfield trying to get to the quarterback, and that's something that's got to change. That would have changed so much of what happened to them in their playoff game against Washington if they could have just gotten some pressure. They couldn't, and you gave a rookie quarterback who was very, very talented, uh, too much time to improvise and make plays with his feet. And that now that they got Caleb Williams in their division, a Jordan Love, who knows what JJ McCarthy's going to do, you got to do that. You're going to play those teams twice a year. That's 6 games of quarterbacks who are going to make something out of nothing, probably. I don't know about JJ McCarthy just yet. I'm not sold on him. But you got to do something to mitigate that. And I think that's where they got to go.
Yeah, we'll see. So let's talk about draft week here. Begins next week, Thursday, April 24th, and runs until Saturday, April 26th in Green Bay. The Lions currently have 7 picks. So yeah, I wouldn't be mad if the round 1 and round 2 if they spent on the defensive line. I think there's talks out there that they got a lot of defensive lineman prospects out there that are good starters right away. So, yeah, I wouldn't be mad if they did that. And then spend a pick on like a wide receiver, safety, or a guard or tackle, or even center um, in the later rounds. Like, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see there. Um, but yeah, anything else to add?
Do you think they're going to stay at 28? Do you think they're going to move up, or do you think they're going to go trade back and possibly out of the first round into the second round?
I honestly, I don't know if they would move up. They've done a lot of moving up in the past few drafts. Like your draft values are kind of like dwindling away like each year when you move up. So, I mean, if the pick at 28 isn't there, I could see them maybe moving back to having maybe two round 2 picks and maybe add like a third round pick in that. Because you've seen like what Brad Holmes can do with his round 2 picks. People like Brian Branch coming out of round 2. Um, so yeah, we'll have to
Yeah,
wait and see there.
there will be a lot of great players in the second round. I mean, as far as I'm aware, like I said, I haven't done my draft homework. I got a week to maybe look at some guys and see who would fit with Detroit or what Brad Holmes wants to do. But I could see him doing anything. It's always a hard to predict what Brad Holmes is going to do. There's a guy he likes, though, I will not be shocked if he moves up. I don't know what we would have to move to go up, whether it's maybe even trading guys like a Jamison Williams moving up.
I don't.
Yeah, we got to throw all the possibilities out there, Kyle.
Right.
So, but we'll see. I anticipate them maybe this year staying pat, but like I said, it would not shock me if he moves up. The trading back wouldn't shock me either. The Lions it's kind of whatever they want to do. Whatever opens up to them, they're going to seize that opportunity. But if there is a guy they absolutely like, that is a Lion, and we got to move up 5 spots, or we got to move up
Yeah.
3 spots, we're going to do it. They're just that type of team, and they've been really fortunate the last few years about getting the guys they want.
Yeah.
And screwing the
Right
Green
now
Bay Packers over in the process. That's what I love.
Yeah, if they right now they're slated to pick 28. If we get down to like 20, 22 pick and that guy's still sitting there for the Lions and they really, really want him, I could see them jumping up maybe.
Oh yeah,
So,
oh yeah,
yeah, wouldn't put it past Brad Holmes to do that.
for sure.
So, yeah. So I think that's it. Anything
Okay.
else?
No, glad to have you back. I know it was a little rusty of a start for you this week. I don't know how regular we're going to be with shows or how active you want to be. You got some time off here to kind of figure out what you want to do with the podcast because this is your baby. I know I edit it and put it up and do most of the work, but it's your baby, Kyle, and I'm just here to help you put your vision on screen or in people's earbuds.
Yeah. So, yeah, probably the next episode will be after the draft once everything settles down there.
Yeah, I got some ideas. We'll talk off mic. I got some ideas for you. So,
All right. Sounds good. So, yeah, let's go ahead and close it out here.
all right, yeah, and we'll probably have to start working on our intros and outros, Kyle. Gotta shake it up. 3 years. I mean, 3 seasons. Can you believe it? We're going into our third Lion season doing this show. Like,
Yeah. Still here.
still. All right. We hope you guys enjoyed listening to today's episode or watching it if you're over on the YouTube channel. Come back for more. Be sure to visit the World of Football's website if you so choose. That's www.theworldoffootball.com for news, links, upcoming events, original articles, videos, and more. If you want to get in touch with us, send us an email to info@theworldoffootball.com, or you can connect with us by liking our Facebook, Instagram, or X account. Links for those are down in the description below. And be sure to check out our flagship podcast, This Week in the World of Football, as we are 10 episodes away from episode 400. Don't know what we're going to do for the 400th episode yet. Kyle might show up. I have no idea. But it'll be a fun one, and it's only going to be 10 weeks away for that. So very excited to put out that show for you, because that is dropping every Tuesday. Except for 1 week, I think we're going to be off by a day. But that's okay. So yeah, guys, go check out that show. Find that in the podcast feed along with this show. Again, all the links that you need are down in the episode description.
All right. That's it for us this week. Be on the lookout for the episode after the draft. Again, check out tpublic.com for all this awesome merch that Adam has created for the just lying around, and not even that, or well, with that, even the World of Football merchandise as well there too.
Oh yeah, I'm coming up with stuff every day, Kyle. But we'll have to figure out what to do with the bear, like the rival suck shirts. We're gonna have to probably tweak them a little bit, but that's okay. Bear suck.
All right. Until then, guys, thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, all that stuff. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks. And go Lions.
Go Lions!